Obviously, getting married is super exciting. There's so much to look forward to, so many things to do, but no one wants to talk about or take the time to do the legalities of protecting your assets. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. This one is going to be a little different than probably some of the other things that we've talked about before. This might get a little legalish, a little attorney-ish, but listen through because I think this is not just about how much you make. This is about what you keep. And if you are in a relationship, you're going to be getting married, or you're already married, this could be something that is important to you. Now, I'm going to throw in a caveat first. I don't care what your opinion is about the topic necessarily that we're going to talk about. I just want you to have the information because obviously anyone who gets married thinks that their marriage is going to last forever, although we know that more than 50% of all marriages end in divorce. So I think this is an important topic. You can at least have the information, decide if it's for you, and then move on. But I think it's an important topic when we talk about wealth. Obviously, getting married is super exciting. There's so much to look forward to, so many things to do, but no one wants to talk about or take the time to do the legalities of protecting your assets. And according to the American Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers, yes, there is a thing, in 2020, 68% of divorce lawyers reported an increase in prenup agreement requests compared to 2019, just 1 year prior. So let's break down the difference between a prenup and a post-nup. Yes, there is actual thing. Most people talk about prenup. That's what you do before you get married. A post-nup is something that you do after. A prenuptial agreement is also known as a premarital agreement. It's an enforceable contract between two people entered into before they get married. This outlines the rights and obligations of each of the individuals if the marriage should end in divorce or death. They are used as safeguards to protect assets of both individuals that have been owned before marriage. This applies to businesses, family property, inheritances, investment accounts, all of those things. A prenup protects you pre-marriage. A post-nup, which is what most people don't think about and don't do, is a legal contract between two married people that outline the financial and personal obligations of each spouse during the marriage. This can be used to protect both parties from potential financial hardship if there was a divorce or separation, as well as provide a framework for resolving disputes should either of the partners breach the agreement. Additionally, a post-nup agreement is used to determine how assets will be divided if one partner dies, ensuring that the surviving spouse is provided for financially. Here are a few key points of how a prenup or a postnup will help secure your wealth. Number one, they clearly defined real estate ownership. Let's say you, before you got married, you have property, rental properties, or commercial, residential, or you were left a home or an asset from maybe a parent that had passed away. It will clearly define who owns what should there ever be a divorce. Also, this applies to business interests. If you're a partnership or you own a business, this will also spell out anything that has to do with your children to prior marriages, including spousal support expectations during separation or if there were a death. Number two, it helps protect against unequal division and prevents costly legal battles down the road. Now, again, everybody that gets married doesn't think they're going to get divorced, but the chances are that most marriages do end that way, unfortunately. So a prenup is going to help you save expenses if it ever comes to that, so that you don't have to get into a nasty, super expensive legal battle where nobody wins except for the attorneys. Number three, it provides clarity for both people so that there are no surprises in terms of the financial arrangement if that relationship, that marriage doesn't work out. There is not a minimum amount of wealth that you need in order to have one of these. Ultimately, it is up to you and you as a couple to decide if you want to have protection with a prenup or a postnup. Generally speaking, couples with significant assets, with real estate holdings, business interests, portfolio accounts, investments, are strongly encouraged to consider both of these agreements. Now, with that said, it's also important for even those with fewer assets because it will prevent so many expenses, so many headaches, and it will make a very difficult and painful process of getting divorced at least a little bit easier. They are really powerful tools that can be used to protect against financial warfare. And again, it's unfortunate, but that's a lot of times what happens. It will provide the clear guidelines for asset division, debt responsibility, and dispute resolution. And in the end, it's possibly a great way to ensure that each spouse is secure and provided for during the marriage, especially when maybe one partner has a lot more assets, more wealth than the other. So again, this might be a topic that you don't agree with. Maybe you want to get married and you don't want a prenup. That's okay if that works for you and your potential spouse. But it's important to understand what they are. It's important to understand what a post-nup is. So say, for example, anything happens to you during your marriage, there are options that you can protect yourself, and you don't wake up one day where half of your assets are taken away from you because you didn't know about some of these agreements that exist and how to legally protect yourself. Okay, guys, thanks so much for tuning in to this short episode. We'll see you next time.